So in today's wraparound lesson, we're going to be looking at slope-intercept form. If you remember from our lessons in class, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So your answers to all of these problems today should look like an equation. Y equals mx plus b. M is your slope, b is your y-intercept. The y and the x are actually going to stay in the problem as variables. So a final answer might look something like y equals 2x plus 3. The x and the y are actually going to stay and become part of the equation. Our goal is to figure out what m is and what b is. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you some problems and kind of do it in little segments this time. I'm going to break this one up a little bit more. But overall, it's going to follow the same format we've been doing. So in the first one, looks like all my numbers shifted down, but other than that, it doesn't look too bad. So my slope is -3, and it actually tells you that the y-intercept is 0, -2. I would like you to get in the habit, and we did this in class, of writing m and b. In this case, m is -3, and b is just the number with the 0, so b is actually -2. So my final equation is y equals -3x plus -2. And that's all there is to it. I'm actually going to ask your teacher to pause the video now, give you time to do the next 3 problems, which match up with this type. Then I'll come back, go over those answers, and then we'll move on to the next type of problem in this section. So for problem 2, m is 5, b is 7, so y equals 5x plus 7. For 3, my slope is -3/4, and b is 3, so y equals -3/4 x plus 3. Then we're going to look at problem 5. Sorry, I needed to move things around a little bit so I knew where everything was. In problem 5, my slope is going to be 5/2, and my y-intercept, or my b value, is going to be -6. So y equals 5/2x plus -6. Problem 6 on my paper, problem 5 on yours, is the new type of problem again. I'm still giving you b, okay, so b is 4, but this time we have to find our slope. Our slope formula is y minus y over x minus x. So I'm going to do 4 minus 3. Because I picked the 4 to go first on the top, the 0 has to go first on the bottom. Remember to change to plus the opposite. That's going to give me 1 over -3. So my final equation is y equals 1 over -3x plus 4. You just had to find the slope. You have 2 more of these type of problems that I would like you to go ahead and try now. Have the teacher pause the video, and then I'll come back on and go over those. So now that you've had a chance to try these next 2 problems, we'll go ahead and look at them. For 7, when I plugged it in, I got a slope of -4, and my b value is going to be 5. So y equals -4x plus 5. For your problem number 7, I got a slope of 0, and it's okay to have a slope of 0. And b is still -2. So y equals 0x plus -2, or if you want, you could actually get rid of the 0x, because 0 times x is just 0. So you could actually write your final answer as just y equals -2. Both are mathematically correct. Doesn't matter which one you choose. So now down here with problem number 8, that 4 shouldn't be there. This is the third type of problem dealing with slope-intercept form. I'm not going to give you the slope, and I'm not going to give you b. You have to find both of them. Start with your slope. So 7 minus 4 over 2 minus 1. It's going to give me 3 over 1, or 3 for my slope. I'm going to plug my slope now into my problem. So y equals 3x plus b. So all I know at this point. I don't know b. But I do know some x's and some y's. They were given to me in the problem. So pick one of the two ordered pairs, it doesn't matter which one, and put y in for y and put 1 in for x. I picked the 1 and the 4. They tend to be smaller numbers. That's usually the type of ordered pairs I would look for, but it really doesn't matter. Go ahead and multiply your slope and the x value together. 3 times 1 gave me 3. I need to get the b by itself, so I'm going to subtract 3 from each side. So b equals 1. So now I know that b is 1 and my slope is 3. So put it all together now, just like we've been doing. Y equals 3x plus 1. I have 3 of these that I want you to try. So I'm going to have the teacher pause the video one more time. Go ahead, give those 3 a try, and then I'll come back and go over the answers. So now that you've had a chance to look at them, for problem 10, I'm sorry, that would be your problem 9. So here 9, I got my slope to be 7, and I got my b value when I plugged it in to be negative 19. So y equals 7x plus negative 19. For 10, I got a slope of negative 2/5. Do not let fractions scare you, and I don't want to see that turned into a decimal. When I plug the negative 2/5 in, the fraction actually ends up disappearing, and I get a b value of negative 1. So y equals negative 2/5 x plus negative 1. For your problem 11, when I found my slope, I found it to be 2. When I plugged in order to find b, I got b equaling negative 12. So y equals 2x plus negative 12. Last problem is always our friend, the word problem. In a word problem, I'm either going to give you the slope and b, slope and an ordered pair, or 2 ordered pairs so you can find the slope and b. If they are charging something per hour or per person or per anything, that is usually your slope. So in this case, M is going to be the $2 per hour fee that they're charging. And we know that when you went for 4 hours, it cost $12. So I'm giving you an ordered pair. This would be very similar to the first 2 types of problems we looked at. I'm going to give you the slope. You actually have to find b. So y equals 2x plus b. You're going to plug in your x and your y. So 12 equals 2 times 4 plus b. 12 equals 8 plus b. Subtract 8 from each side. And I get b equaling 4. So y equals 2x plus 4. Don't forget to read the last sentence. You are to interpret the rate of change in the initial value. Rate of change is your slope. My slope, we said earlier, was the cost per hour. How much they charge you per hour to have this audio tour. It also says in the original problem they charge the rental fee plus this $2 per hour. Well, if we already have the $2 per hour covered, the 4 must stand for the rental fee. And that ends our lesson on slope-intercept form. If you have any questions on how we got b, how we got slope, how we got any of those pieces, please feel free to stop over and ask.